will get a jolt of revelation when you find out someone is head over heels, obsessed with you, because of one specific thing. You did something so natural to your spirit, you didn't realize it had the power to captivate them so completely. If you've been sensing an unusual warmth from someone, or noticing them pop up in your thoughts at odd times, it's likely not a fluke. Something about how you've carried yourself, how you've spoken, or even a simple act of kindness triggered a deep emotional response in them. And if part of you wonders, could it really be that strong? Brace yourself, because it often is. Do something brief but potent right now. Tap that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and leave 77 in the comments to broadcast your readiness to the universe. Then add another comment ready for what's next, because even a tiny statement of intent can spark off changes beyond your wildest guesses. We're about to explore 7 chapters, unveiling how your unique energy flipped someone's world upside down, why they might be borderline crazy in love, and how you can handle this unexpected intensity without losing yourself or them. Sure, your daily routines might not look out of the ordinary, heading to work, juggling chores, caring for family. But behind that mundane facade, an energetic shift has occurred. You did something so genuine, maybe a compassionate gesture, a few words of affirmation, or a moment where you authentically displayed your strength, that it struck this person at their core. They've likely tried to rationalize it, but your authenticity lit a spark they cannot ignore. Let's dig into what it really means to awaken such fierce emotions in another, how to keep your center while acknowledging their devotion, and how to steer this connection toward a healthy, inspired outcome. Chapter 1. The enigmatic act that captured their heart. You might be replaying every conversation or moment with them, trying to guess which action transformed mild affection into any obsession. But often it's not a grand show or dramatic speech. It's something small, personal, unloaded with sincerity. Perhaps you recognize their hidden struggles when no one else bothered to look deeper, or you offered help without broadcasting it, meeting a quiet need they'd long suppress. These subtle displays of empathy can strike chords that words never will. Interestingly, many people in a fast-paced society remain starved for genuine human connection. They drift through daily life behind masks, either too proud to admit they need kindness, or too cynical to expect it when you show up. Applying your natural brand of heartfelt attentiveness, it breaks that pattern. Suddenly they feel truly seen, maybe for the first time in age. That raw recognition can spark a warmth that quickly escalates into deep infatuation or emotional fervor. Another dimension is authenticity. Maybe you let them witness your unguarded side, whether it's your laughter, your tears, or your unfiltered hopes in a world fixated on curated personas. Your authenticity resonates. Like a beacon, they think, here's someone real, not performing. That honesty might be what they've craved. Consequently, they attach to that realness, associating you with the escape from fakery that they needed so badly. Try an exercise. Reflect on your last few months. Identify moments you were particularly open-hearted, like offering an encouraging note when you notice someone's stress, or gently standing up for them in a small conflict. Jot these down. You might unearth a pattern of compassion that you view as normal, but that for someone starved of genuine connection becomes enthralling. This might be the very reason they've fallen so hard. There's also a possibility that you did something that aligns with their unspoken love language. Maybe they deeply value acts of service, and you casually performed a small favor, like dropping off lunch when they were swamped. Or perhaps they're a person starved for words of affirmation, and you spontaneously praised their overlooked talents. That single moment of precise validation can linger in their thoughts, blossoming into this intense emotional wave they can't control. Some might call it destiny or a cosmic arrangement if you carry a certain frequency or chosen energy. Your normal interactions hold more potency than you realize. People sensitive to spiritual or emotional undercurrents might sense the difference in your presence, so even a routine conversation can feel profound to them. igniting an emotional bond that they interpret as a rare, fated connection. However, don't overlook how vulnerability can be mesmerizing. If you displayed unwavering courage in adversity, or gracefully handled heartbreak, or calmly faced chaos, you might have inadvertently revealed a resilience that enthralls them. They see your trials, but also notice you didn't become bitter or jaded. That mixture of life scars and unwavering warmth can be magnetic, prompting them to see you as an extraordinary soul worth clinging to. That tricky part you might not consciously recall, that pivotal moment. It could have been a fleeting second, eye contact conveying genuine empathy, or a quick note you left on their desk. Meanwhile, they've replayed that second 100 times in their head, weaving an entire tapestry of emotion around it. This discrepancy in awareness can leave you puzzled. When they declare intense feelings or show unwavering loyalty, but from their perspective, you change something fundamental in them at that moment. Finally, it's key to realize that, while your act catalyzed their feelings, it doesn't obligate you to reciprocate with the same intensity. Attraction or admiration can build quickly for them, but you have a right to proceed at your own pace. You can appreciate the beauty of having touched their heart without rushing into a commitment that doesn't align with your red. If they truly admire you, they'll respect your boundaries. If they pressure you, that signals an imbalance you must address. So the mysterious act that gripped them might remain a puzzle to you, but from their advantage it was everything. They saw in you a rare spark, a sign that real empathy and connection still exist in a single gesture or series of small kindnesses. You shattered their cynicism and awakened feelings they can't easily tame. Understanding this is your first clue to approaching their fervent affection with clarity, recognizing both the potency of your influence and the caution needed not to let well-intentioned love morph into something overwhelming or unbalanced. Chapter 2. When kindness translates as a deep bond. People often undervalue kindness, considering it a simple courtesy. But for someone starved of compassion, small acts can resonate far beyond the surface in that person's world. Maybe they faced repeated disappointments, betrayals, or felt invisible. So your kindness lands differently, like rain on desert soil. What you viewed as a routine empathy might have triggered a profound shift in their emotional climate, forging a perception of you as a savior, a kindred spirit, or even a soulmate. One reason kindness scale into deep bond is that it addresses unmet emotional needs. Many walk around with hidden loneliness, wearing masks of self-sufficiency. Then you appear offering a shoulder to lean on or an understanding ear. That alone can spark a sense of refuge so intense that they associate you with healing. And once they link you to relief from their internal storms, the bond leaps from casual fondness to near obsession. An exercise: recall the last time you felt truly seen and supported. Did it linger in your thoughts for days or weeks? The same phenomenon can happen for them, multiplied if they rarely receive such understanding. By empathizing with that dynamic, how a single supportive moment can become magnified in someone's mind, you understand why they're suddenly over the moon about you. This kindness effect intensifies if it was unexpected. People used to superficial or transsectional relationships get jolted when someone does something purely out of care, no strings attached, no hidden motive. It can feel so alien that they interpret it as a cosmic sign, believing only someone deeply special would do such a thing. Their psyche concludes that you must be a unique presence, fated to fix or complete them. They might over-romanticize the gesture, but the sentiment is real. Your kindness filled a void at times. Your words or little gifts target a nerve they didn't know was raw. Maybe you reminded them of childhood, innocence, or offered reassurance at the exact moment they doubted everything. If that synergy lines up, they might see it as destiny, the idea that you randomly said the perfect phrase or arrived at the perfect time cements an emotional bond from an outside perspective. It's a sweet happenstance for them. It's a revelation that your connection is meant to be another. Angle is that some personalities link gratitude to intense loyalty. If they believe you saved or rescued them from a dark place, they can attach strongly. This might manifest as them showering you with devotion or gifts, wanting to repay a perceived debt. While it's flattering, you also need to ensure the relationship remains healthy. You can enjoy their gratitude, but encourage them to stand on their own feet. Too overdependence can morph a sweet bond into something stifling. That said, not everyone handles kindness with healthy humility. Some interpret it as a green light to push boundaries, e.g. asking more of your time or demanding reciprocation you never promised. Their reasoning might be, they're so nice they'll help me do everything. In such cases, your role is to gently but firmly say, I was glad to help, but I'm not your dual caretaker. This reaffirms that kindness doesn't equate to indefinite servitude. Watch how they respond to, if they respect it and adapt, the bond can deepen in a balanced way. If they react with manipulation or guilt trips that assign your kindness was fueling an unhealthy dependency, real mutual affection respects your boundaries, not just what they want from you. It might feel harsh to correct them, but if you skip it, you risk letting them slide into emotional leeching, eventually draining your spirit. Finally, kindness is rarely about grand gestures. It's the consistent little acts, listening, attentively remembering their favorite comfort snack when they're stressed, celebrating small achievements no one else notices. That's what cracks open hearts. If they use to disregard or insincerity, your consistent warmth is like a safe harbor. No one under they overjoyed or borderline infatuated. The real question is how you'll navigate that adoration. Will you be able to accept their love graciously while maintaining balanced boundaries? If so, your natural empathy can blossom into a meaningful reciprocal bond, not a precarious pedestal. In the end, your kindness might have seemed routine, but to them it signaled that genuine care still exists in a world that feels cold. This realization triggered a deep emotional response, forging a bond interpreted as rare and possibly unbreakable. While you can appreciate the wonder of being someone solace, you must also ground yourself in the understanding that healthy relationships involve two entire individuals, not one caretaker and one rescued soul. The sweet spot is letting kindness be the glue that fosters real intimacy and growth, never the chain that shackles you or them to unrealistic expectations. As Chapter 3, understanding their intense loyalty and its risks. When someone is crazy in love, their loyalty can skyrocket. They might defend you in any situation, champion your causes, or revolve their daily decisions around pleasing you. Initially, it might feel flattering, like you discovered unwavering support, but love that transitions to near obsession also carries potential pitfalls. This unwavering loyalty can morph into jealousy, possessiveness, or an over-reliance on you for emotional stability. Realizing how to navigate that line is crucial. First, consider how their unwavering loyalty may reflect a deeper need for security. If they've been burned by betrayal or isolation in the past, clinging to you might be their attempt to anchor themselves. They see you as safe harbor, the one guaranteed not to exploit their weaknesses. The loyalty is genuine, but it's also laced with fear of losing the only person who gets them. If you sense that their devotion is fueled by anxiety, it's wise to gently encourage them to find additional support systems or hobbies. That diversification ensures their world doesn't hinge solely on you. And exercise note, any times their fierce loyalty veers towards stifling behavior, like constantly checking up on you or reacting defensively to harmless interactions you have with others. This might mark an escalation from supportive to controlling. Once You spot the pattern, calmly bring it up, affirm your appreciation for their care, but clarify your need for independence. If they respond graciously and try to adjust, it's a sign they can handle boundaries. If they become angry or manipulative, deeper issues lure beneath the surface. Another angle is the halo effect they might place upon you. They see you as an angelic figure who can do no wrong. While it seems flattering, being put on a pedestal can be isolating. You might feel pressure to act flawlessly, lest you shatter their idealized image. That environment can stifle your authenticity. People are multifaceted, and even chosen ones have off days or complicated moods. A partner who insists on your constant perfection may inadvertently discourage honest self-expression over time. That can build resentment or cause you to hide your normal human flaws. Also realize that sometimes a crazy in love person tries to fuse identities. They believe we should be one in every aspect. While romantic on the surface, it can erode personal boundaries. They might resent your alone time or your separate friendships. If that emerges, reaffirm that true closeness doesn't cancel out individuality. A healthy bond involves interdependence, not codependence. Encourage them to maintain their personal space and interests. If they respect your stance, you can preserve your sense of self. If not, tension escalates. Be alert for dramatic displays of loyalty that might inadvertently cause harm. For instance, if they get into conflicts on your behalf that you never wanted, or they sabotage opportunities because they think someone threatens your relationship, it signals an overreach. This stems from misguided protectiveness. You can appreciate the intention while clarifying that you handle your own battles. Reassure them you're grateful for the support, but that you don't need them bulldozing your life to defend you. Honor this conversation sets the record straight. Love can be protective without being destructive or invasive. Another subtle risk is if they begin to shape their entire personality around pleasing you. They might alter opinions or habits to match yours, losing authenticity in the process. At first, it might be sweet, like them adopting your favorite music or jokes, but if you notice them stifling their genuine preferences, that's a red flag. Compassionately urge them to keep their individuality true. Devotion doesn't demand assimilation, but celebrates differences. Let them see that your love doesn't hinge on them echoing your every thought. Finally, guard your own mental health. If their intensity ever crosses the threshold into emotional hostage-taking, some individuals, especially if they harbor abandonment fears, might manipulate you through guilt or emotional episodes. Whenever you assert independence, if you find yourself treading eggshells to avoid setting them off, you're sacrificing your sense of peace for their insecurities. That's not sustainable. A compassionate but firm talk about seeking therapy or a mutual agreement on boundaries can be a lifeline in such cases. In short, their intense loyalty can be a double-edged sword. It's evidence of how deeply your qualities impact them, but it can overshadow normal relationship rhythms if not channeled well. By being mindful, observing signals of unhealthy dependency, encouraging them to sustain their personal identity, and maintaining transparent communication, you ensure that the bond formed by your angelic nature remains a source of mutual joy rather than a precarious emotional entanglement. Devotion is powerful, but it thrives best when balanced by respectful independence and a shared sense of responsibility for each other's emotional well-being. Chapter 4. Avoiding that savior complex and promoting mutual growth. When you discover someone is crazy in love with you and views you almost as a saintly figure, you might feel a tug to rescue them from their troubles or shield them from every adversity while helping them is compassionate. There's a fine line between healthy support and a savior complex. This phenomenon arises when you start defining your self-worth by how much you save or fix another person. If you slip into that mindset, the relationship can become lopsided. depriving both parties of genuine equality and growth. People with a savior. Complex often derive satisfaction from being needed, ignoring their own needs or boundaries in the process. They interpret the other's dependency as a sign of success. Meanwhile, the loved one remains stunted, never learning to stand on their own 2 feet. Over time, resentment can creep in on your side and stagnation on there. The initial euphoria of being worried fades into the reality that you're carrying burdens that aren't yours to bear and exercise. Reflect on your motivations for offering help. You doing it because you enjoy the synergy of co-creating solutions, or because you can't tolerate seeing them struggle? If it's the latter, you might be patching short-term discomfort at the cost of long-term growth. Let them face small challenges. To develop resilience, a gentle cheer from you is fine, but stepping in to solve everything can breed dependency. Another approach is encouraging them to cultivate personal goals or self. Care if you notice they rely exclusively on your advice or wait for you to lead the day's plans. Nudge them to explore their own hobbies, friendships, or introspection. You might say, "I appreciate your trust, but it's great if you also discover what you really want." This fosters an environment where they can flourish individually, and your relationship evolves with 2 empowered partners, not a caretaker and a dependent. Sometimes the fear behind your savior impulse is that if they find independence they might not need. You realize that healthy love isn't about needing, it's about choosing each other. If they become more autonomous, they'll likely respect and cherish you more, because the bond then flows from shared will, not necessity. Clinging to their fragility to maintain closeness can sabotage authenticity. If they only remain with you because they can't function alone, that's not genuine devotion, it's codependence. Spiritual teachings often highlight that earth angels or empathic souls sometimes confuse unconditional love with unconditional service. You can love them wholeheartedly without sacrificing every boundary or turning your schedule upside down to cater to their every whim. Strive for a middle ground. You remain open-hearted, but they hold accountability for their personal responsibilities. If they truly cherish you, they'll make an effort to lighten the load on your shoulders rather than piling all their problems onto you. A small step, the next time they call you in distress. Pause. Evaluate if this is a legitimate crisis or something they can handle with minimal guidance. If it's minor, encourage them to try a solution on their own. Before you swoop in. Over time, they'll realize they can solve issues independently, boosting their self-esteem. Meanwhile, you salvage energy for moments that truly demand your intervention. This cements a dynamic where help is valued, not exploited. Be prepared for some pushback. If they've grown accustomed to your ever-present rescues, they may interpret your new boundaries as distance or rejection. Calmly explain your rationale. "I trust your ability to handle this. I'm here if you truly need me, but I want to see you flourish in your own right." Their initial insecurity might cause friction, but it's a crucial step toward forging a balanced partnership. If they can't adapt or they lash out, you'll know the relationship hinged on you playing savior, not on genuine mutual respect. Finally, keep your own life rich and multidimensional. A strong of a savior complex is letting the other's problems overshadow your personal dreams or well-being. Don't let that happen. Continue investing in your hobbies, friendships, spiritual pursuits. When they see you living fully, it sends a clear message. You care for them deeply, but you won't revolve your entire existence around them. This also fosters a healthy challenge for them to stand tall, ensuring your connection remains driven by mutual admiration, not unilateral caretaking. In essence, balancing kindness with self-respect spares you from slipping into savior territory. The intense adoration someone feels for you can bloom into a stable, uplifting relationship if you both learn to share responsibility. By preventing a caretaker-victim dynamic, you allow each other to expand in your own right, forging a synergy of 2 complete souls who uplift each other rather than draining. That synergy forms a love story, Beyond fleeting romance, a lasting bond where each heart beats stronger because it's free to do so, not tethered by a sense of rescue or obligation. Chapter 5. Maintaining mystery and balance for long-term allo. When someone adores you deeply, they may yearn to know every facet of your life, your thoughts, routines, even passing moods. While honesty is crucial, a measure of mystery can sustain their fascination and protect both parties from overexposure. Sharing too much too soon can paradoxically dull the spark and lead them to take you for granted. Mystery safeguards individuality. If your admirer constantly craves togetherness, it's healthy to remind both of you that you remain distinct people with separate inner worlds. A personal sanctuary, a solitary hobby, or a quiet hour grounds you and maintains their respectful curiosity. One practical approach is scheduling me time each week without offering a play-by-play. Afterward, over time, they learn your independence is non-negotiable, reinforcing a healthy boundary. This also prevents their relationship from tilting in their favor if they remain guarded while learning every detail about you. When you choose what to share, the dynamic becomes reciprocal, encouraging them to open up instead of merely absorbing your vulnerabilities more, over leaving parts of yourself unexplained. Fosters spontaneity. If they already predict every reaction or know each plan, surprises lose impact. Occasional unpredictability spontaneously. Suggesting an outing or unveiling a hidden skill rekindles excitement. A sense of there's more to discover keeps the connection vibrant. That said, withholding details isn't about manipulation. It's a gradual reveal. Genuine affection often grows through peeling back layers over time. If you give him your full life story in one go, the relationship may stall once the novelty wears off. Staged progression of intimacy creates ongoing anticipation. Reassure them that your reserve isn't mistrust or aloofness. You can appreciate their curiosity while explaining you cherish private reflection. A supportive partner respects the boundary understanding. It's about balance. Closeness, not hiding wrongdoing. If they respond with jealousy or anger, it indicates deeper insecurities they must address. Consider how you share personal stories. Instead of detailing every raw emotion, focus on the key lessons or feelings. Similarly, limit constant social media updates that give them around-the-clock insight into your life. Preserve an offline aura that can't be gleaned from scrolling a feed. Maintaining mystery also reinforces self-respect. It's easy to let intense admiration bend your schedule or preferences to please them. A private sanctuary, be it mental or physical, reminds you of who you are outside the relationship. Ironically, this self-containment often heightens your allure, as people are drawn to those comfortable in their own skin, not reliant on perpetual validation. Ultimately, a bit of mystery helps them adore your authenticity without consuming your entire being. It balances closeness and autonomy, ensuring their infatuation remains a respectful admiration that grows over time. By blending openness with select privacy, you preserve a sense of wonder and depth, foundations for a lasting bond, where neither party is overwhelmed, yet both remain engaged in discovering who the other truly is. Chapter 6, dealing with envy or resent from others. About your admirer devotion. When someone is openly infatuated with you, onlookers can react in unpredictable ways. Some will cheer you on, but others may harbor envy or bitterness. If they feel overshadowed by the attention, their resentment often reflects personal insecurities. They might crave devotion or validation themselves. If people lash out, remember, it's often more about their own unmet desires than anything you've done. Close friends may accuse you of flaunting your admirer devotion, and co-workers could perceive it as favoritism, especially if you receive perks or lenience while it stings most. When it comes from those you trust, try a gentle conversation to clarify you never sought special treatment. If they remain hostile, it might be best to maintain a respectful distance rather than force resolution in groups. Ensure your admirer attention doesn't overshadow everyone else if they lavish you with gifts or exclusive praise in public tactfully. Redirect focus or suggest inclusive gestures. This helps prevent tension and reinforces that nobody in your circle is being sidelined. If rumors arise, don't feed the gossip mill. Answer direct questions calmly and avoid reacting with anger or frustration. Gossips thrive on drama. Your composure helps diffuse their energy. Meanwhile, your admirer should respect these boundaries if they thrive on stirring envy. It's a signal they need a reality check. In rare instances, envy can escalate into sabotage. Stay vigilant, but not paranoid. If you suspect workplace interference or malicious intent, keep records and politely address questionable behavior. Sometimes, clarity alone can deter further attempts. Escalate only if you see no improvement with close friends. Reassure them they remain important to you. Spend quality time together so they see your bond with them hasn't been displaced. If jealousy persists despite your efforts, reevaluate whether the friendship can adapt to your new reality. Pay attention to your admirers' motives. 2. If they seem to enjoy provoking envy or flaunting the connection for attention, that's a red flag. True affection doesn't aim to cause strife. Say guidelines like, I appreciate your support, but let's not showcase it in a way that leaves others feeling slighted. If they can't respect that, question whether their devotion is coming from genuine love or an ego-driven desire to stir reactions. Finally, handle external negativity with empathy. Often those who feel overshadowed just want their own contributions or needs acknowledged. Offer genuine praise for their achievements or invite them to shining group settings. But never sacrifice your own boundaries or emotional well-being. Your task isn't to fix others' insecurities, but to remain centered in your truth while offering compassion where you can. Ultimately, other people's envy shouldn't overshadow the genuine affirmation you're receiving. By balancing empathy, tact, and firm boundaries, you ensure their negativity doesn't poison your experience. Your admirer devotion remains a positive force, not a source of chaos, allowing you to enjoy being valued while navigating others' reactions with grace and self-assurance. Chapter 7. Honoring this unique bond while keeping your future wide open. If someone's unwavering affection brightens your days, it can feel both uplifting and confining. There's a tendency to map your entire future around this intense bond, yet as a chosen one, you recognize that life's expansions rarely hinge on any single relationship. Integrating their devotion into your broader path requires balance. Embrace the gift of their love without letting it shrink your destiny. Begin by acknowledging that their passion, however sincere, doesn't diminish your autonomy. You can welcome their affection without relinquishing control of your decisions. If they try to steer you away from your calling, calmly reassert your direction. True love supports each partner's individual path. If they resist, it may signal underlying control issues. Try a simple journal exercise and vision your life in 5 years, free of external pressures. Include personal, spiritual, and professional aspirations next. See how this relationship might enhance or conflict with that vision. If you detect major incompatibilities, consider whether they can be resolved or if the connection could limit your broader purpose. Meanwhile, maintain your forward momentum. Travel, learn, and pursue your interests independently of the bond. Genuine love survives personal exploration. In fact, it often grows stronger because both partners respect each other's individuality. This shared freedom prevents stifling intensity and fosters healthy admirations. Stay open to new connections or adventures. Even a deep bond now doesn't preclude future opportunities. If your partner displays insecurity at the thought of you meeting new people or exploring projects, Reassure them that loyalty doesn't vanish with expanded horizons if they can't handle this. It may indicate codependency. Real love thrives in an atmosphere where both parties feel free to evolve. Guard against complacency. Devotion can lull you into stagnation. Why strive if you're adored? Regardless, yet chosen ones must keep evolving. If you sense areas needing growth, developing a skill, confronting a fear, or healing a trauma, don't let their admiration distract you from personal. Progress. Your ongoing evolution usually strengthens the relationship anyway. Stay alert to signs that their devotion might overshadow their own goals should they abandon personal ambitions or rely excessively on you for direction. Encourage them to cultivate their potential. A relationship grounded in mutual growth remains vibrant. If one partner neglects self-development, it can breed unhealthy dependence that weighs you down. Most importantly, savor the present in spiritual or personal growth circles. We often fixate on future steps and overlook the beauty unfolding now. If your partner's love is pure and uplifting, bask in it. Let gratitude guide your shared experiences without obsessing over possible endings or complications. Laugh, celebrate small moments, and trust you can adapt gracefully as life evolves. Ultimately, honoring this bond without limiting future possibilities reflects how chosen ones approach love you. Receive their adoration as evidence of the inner beauty you've nurtured, balancing acceptance with independence by treasuring the bond without letting it define your identity. You anchor yourself in a stable yet expansive reality. This synergy cultivates a relationship that stays vibrant, flexible, and open to the next wave of cosmic blessings. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, comments, and share to all. Give your feedback in the video comments.